What's going on, people, and welcome back to another player versus player. This week is, as you can see, Luka Modric versus Xavi as the one that won the poll last. I'll be doing a new poll, so look out for that in the community tab. Appreciate everyone that gets involved in them and votes on them. But this is the one that won from last time. The midfield battle today in this one current player still going, and obviously Xavi quite recently retired, now in management, but both guys were playing around the same time as well. Let me know yours in the comments, guys, who you would have for each category and your overall total score. It's always cool to see what other people would have as well, so let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Let's get into it. Passing, I think Modric has always been a great passer. I think now more people see it, especially as he's got on in age and just longevity. People appreciate him more now, but he's always been a classic passer. An underrated passer at times in his younger years especially. But for me, passing-wise, Xavi is one of the undisputed GOATs for me. Always has been his pass accuracy, the percentage of successful passes. Whether it was long, short, the completion rate was ridiculous with him. So passing would be Xavi for me. Goals, both of them not huge scorers of goals, but a lot of that plays into the positions they play. So neither of these you really think of in terms of just out-and-out goals, because they both have scored a fair few amount of goals. When I did the research to get the totals, I was quite surprised by how many they have scored, because I see them more as creators. But they've both scored a fair few. Modric has got 75. Xavi's actually got 85, which I was quite surprised with. So I would have guessed Modric had more over his career, but it's not the case. So in terms of numbers, Xavi gets it. For the numbers alone, I would give it to Xavi. But obviously Modric has a chance of breaking it if he keeps going. Creating an assist, kind of a preference one. I think Xavi was more the pass before the assist kind of player a lot of the time, whereas Modric does that, but he also probably gets a bit further forward than Xavi did. Creating wise, it's up for debate and very close. Assist wise, I don't have the official numbers of a number of assists they both got over their careers. I personally would edge it to Modric on this one, because I feel like he does both roles a little bit more than Xavi did. Free kicks, Modric is actually on 75, which surprised me. And Xavi only ever got 16, which surprised me also. I know Xavi probably didn't take as many free kicks as Modric does, but I was still surprised that Modric had the amount he did. So in terms of numbers, I would give it to Modric. Dribbling, I think this one for me, preference, but I would edge it to Modric. I think he was a little bit quicker, a little bit better of ball control, but it is all preference at the end of the day. But for me, I would edge that one to Modric. Bravery, I don't think either of these were like a John Terry type or Roy Keane. They definitely weren't that. I'd probably edge it to Modric again, but not. You don't really think of either of these as brave players, but they have to be to a certain extent. Aggression, again, not their forte, not their skill set. I'd probably edge it to Modric slightly on aggression. Agility, again, Modric for me. I think he's quicker in tight spaces. I think he's a bit quicker on his feet than Xavi was, and probably a bit quicker in general. So Modric for agility. Awareness, I think they're both brilliant at this, but I would give that one to Xavi. I think because he didn't have as much speed as Modric had, and didn't have as much agility, he was quicker in thought, and he had to be, because he wasn't ever a quick player. But just scanning, looking over his shoulder, being aware of where he was on the pitch and his teammates, I think he's one of the best ever, Xavi. And I think he gets overlooked in that aspect a bit. But for me, awareness goes to Xavi. Moving to this side then, interceptions, I would edge it to Modric, but that's just because in my head he stands out. I feel like I can picture him intercepting a bit more. So again, it's up to your perception of them both and what you remember. But I feel like Modric's done a bit more in the interception category. Technique, I think they're both very good. Edge it to Xavi, but I do think Modric's great at technique too. Strength, might have to come back to strength. Trophies, Modric is on 27 currently. And Xavi finished on 31, so there's not a lot in it. Modric might potentially break it, but it's going to be hard now, because I think he will retire in the next year or two, and it's going to be hard to get that amount and probably get to 31 trophies, even being at a club like Madrid. He has a chance, but I think Xavi might just just do it on overall when they're both retired. For trophies, look what Xavi did with Barcelona alone. Greatness. For trophies alone, and being at one club and doing it, Xavi gets it for me. Leadership, obviously both have been captains. I think obviously Modric is for his country as well. I don't know if Xavi ever was captain for his country or not. I feel like he wasn't, but maybe I'm wrong on that. But he was captain of Barcelona for a while. Edge it to Xavi simply because of what he achieved at Barcelona as captain. And with Spain, I know he wasn't always captain, or I don't know if he ever was for Spain, but yeah, I think Modric is a great captain also, but I would edge it to Xavi on that, as on the leadership. Positional sense, difficult one. I feel like Modric is a bit more versatile in this one. Xavi did it in one position and was world class at it. It's a difficult one. I would edge it to Xavi on that, but not by a lot. Athleticism, I don't think either of them are huge, like great athletes in terms of power and like jumping ability and things like that. I would probably edge it to Modric slightly. Career, I think they've both had a fantastic career. Modric is still going, obviously. I think he's got a very underrated career with the amount of trophies he's already got and collected, and he's still going, and he could get a few more still before he retires. But Xavi, what he did with Barcelona, the stuff he won with Spain, La Masia, all that, I'd give it to Xavi for career. And legacy, it's up for debate again. Modric has been in England, obviously, with Tottenham, originally at Zagreb as well, whereas Xavi kind of stayed at Barcelona his whole career. I know he sort of went near the end of it, but I think, again, Xavi gets it on legacy, but we have to kind of wait and see for Modric in terms of trophy-wise and stuff, if he overtakes Xavi in the trophy cabinet, but at the moment, Xavi holds it. So I'd edge legacy to Xavi. And going back to the strength category, I don't think there's a lot in it at all. I feel like Modric bounces off his opponents a bit in terms of they might think they've got him in a corner and they can get the ball, but he might like accelerate and get away from them, or be deceptively strong and bounce off them and carry on a driving dribble. Whereas I think Xavi didn't have that acceleration and that burst to get away, but he might have had the strength to just stay in that position and keep the ball. I'd edge it to Xavi, but not by a lot. Let's get these scores together. Passing, Xavi 1-0. Goal, Xavi 2-0. Creating an assist, Modric 2-1 Xavi. Free kicks, Modric 2-2. Dribbling, Modric 3-2. Bravery, Modric 4-2. Aggression, Modric 5-2. Agility, Modric 6-2. Awareness, Xavi 6-3 Modric. Interceptions, Modric 7-3. Technique, Xavi 7-4 Modric. Strength, Xavi 7-5 Modric. Trophies, Xavi 7-6 Modric. Leadership, Xavi 7-all. Positional sense, Xavi 8-7 Xavi. Athleticism, Modric 8-all. Career, Xavi 9-8. Legacy, Xavi 10-8. So it's very close. It finished 10-8 to Xavi. I wasn't sure how it was going to finish. This is one of the ones I couldn't predict in my head. I usually have more of an idea of who will win out and out before it gets going. It doesn't always turn out that way, but with this one I really didn't know. I prefer Modric as a player, if I'm honest, out of the two. I feel like he's a bit more versatile, but as we can see here, this is why I love doing these videos, because it's not always my personal favourite of what I can remember and just preference that always wins these. So that's why I love doing them so much, because it's a surprise to me sometimes as much as you guys that watch. So Xavi wins this one 10-8. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, who your winner was, who you would have for each category. And watch out for tomorrow, guys. I will be doing a post-match recap for tonight's game. First leg Carabao game, Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United. I will be dropping my player ratings for that tomorrow and my match recap for that. We've got the Reading game coming up as well, so I'll be dropping a video for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, and look out for in the community tab for the new player versus player poll going up. Have your say on who you'd like to see next. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I'll catch you guys soon.